session, and I am partnering with Elephant Atta, which is Elephant, I would say, Chucky Gold Atta. This is the new product which has come in the market, and I've used it for about a month, and I'm super happy and very happy to cook with that. So the bread I'm going to cook today is an Afghan inspired bread. It's an Afghani bread. It's actually, when you go to Lahore, sorry, not Lahore, my apologies, to Kabul, this bread is actually made in every household, but it is also sold on street. It's a kind of street food. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I don't want to sell this bread to you. I want to make this bread with you. So the ingredients are incredibly simple. I had posted it on my Instagram. So you need flour. I used 2 types of flour because I wanted slightly crispier bread, but actually speaking, this Elephant Atta is absolutely right to use 100% if you wish to, except the bread will be slightly softer and nicer. I just wanted slightly crispier. So I was being a little naughty and used a little bit of plain flour in there. So let me make the dough first and we'll keep talking. I will swing my camera down while I talk to you guys. So if you can see my bowls, my flour, yeah, you can. Oops. Right. Okay, so this is plain flour, this is Elephant Atta. So I'll mix them here in one bowl. Pinch of salt. I always like to use sea salt, that's my favorite. And just a dash of oil, about a tablespoon, I would say. Use little if you want to, okay? Nothing wrong with that. And I'm not using my hand, I'm using back of my wooden spatula. But if you have a dough mixer, you can use the dough mixer. And I have about 200 ml water here. So I was accused this evening by my wife that I added too much water while trying to make a dough, same dough. But I'll try to prove her wrong, that I do the right things as well sometimes. A married man should know that. Okay, so now talking about bolani, this is an amazing bread, okay? Every household in Kabul or Afghanistan knows how to make this. And this is actually equivalent to our aloo paratha or pyaz ka paratha, onion paratha, or any stuffed paratha. So it's a kind of stuffed paratha. The only difference is this is not made with 2 layers of bread. This is made with just one roti. You'll make 1 disc, and then you will fold it into half. Now, if you think of Italian pizza, which is called calzone, so it just folds like that. So it's half a bread, if I may say that, and that works incredibly well. And then you pan fry it both the sides. Okay, just gonna swap for another, but I didn't want to get my hands dirty.
Chef.
Yes?
There is a question.
Go for it.
Can we do it just with chapati atta, or do we have to add the plain flour?
You can do it with chapati atta, no problem. Absolutely. That's what I was saying, that I liked a little bit of crispier bread. I was trying not to get my hands dirty, but I would have to, I guess. My wife will be having a laugh on me, because she's a machine person and she loves doing it in the machine. She said, fix it the machine. I said, no, I'll use my hands. Okay, here we go. And you know, I would say that I'm going to make this with leek, but do push the boat out and use anything and anything. So I also, just to keep everybody happy at home in my household, I grated some paneer. Okay, so this is here, and I'll mix it. I can mix it with leek. You can have sliced onions. You can have meat ones as well if you want to cook one with either chicken mince or lamb mince, but make sure you cook your meat first before you put it as stuffing. That's very important, okay? Otherwise there will be a bit of a problem. Meat may not get cooked and that can become a little raw, and you don't want that. So just a little bit more water. I think I should have used a slightly bigger and better bowl, but I'm a little old-fashioned. So my grandfather was a baker, and I saw him making these doughs right on the flat surfaces rather than in bowls, and I wanted to start with a bowl, but I will actually come down on the bare floor of the table here and then knead it well. Okay, and that actually helps. And if you open the bread a bit, so when you do it in the machine, you don't get joy to do this, but when you make it on the table like this, then you open it, it aerates, and it also activates the gluten, which is incredibly important for making a good bread. I've always been a good bread maker. I have to say that even while working in the hotels, I think I was always given jobs which were late night jobs, unfortunately, where they would always ask me to make breads for the next day. And what this does basically gets the dough going, and this is really good soft dough. You look at it, fantastic. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave it here, put a little bit of dried flour underneath as well so that it doesn't get stuck. Okay, and you can either cover it with a wet towel or just kitchen towel and leave it aside to rest. Okay, so what that does basically allows the gluten to kind of get activated, and it's quite tough at the moment. Okay, so if I try to roll the bread out, it'll be difficult, but if I leave it to rest, the elasticity just comes back, and it's actually quite easier to roll the dough out. And this is another one which I made earlier. So that's ready, and I will just give a good knock back to this one, and then I'm just going to put the camera back on the workflow here. Okay, and let's roll it out. So idea is to see how many breads you can do out of it. So 150 gram dough with 50 gram of stuffing would be good, in my opinion. So I didn't want too much getting stuck here. I think this is good. Okay, and let's cut it. Here's my palette knife. So we'll get about 8 breads out of this. Okay, so once that's done, make balls like that. Make sure you dust the flour on the work surface and let the bread dough rest, the dough balls rest for some time. And here, just going to turn the camera a bit. Oops, that's too much of turning. Apologies. I got 2 pans here. Okay, so this pan will be for the bread, and this one, I just thought I will actually saute the leeks. So what I did, I washed the leeks and cut them into cylinders, cut them into half, and then shred them. Okay, so on this one, what I want to do is just add a little bit of oil. You can use the raw leeks or raw onion as well, but I just felt that if we cook a little bit, and what it does, it kind of makes it a little bit smoother and nicer. Put that, pinch of salt, we got some chopped coriander. So my coriander isn't great looking, my apologies, I should have gone to the local market and picked up. Green chili, that goes on top, and we have some toasted cumin that goes in as well. Okay, and we'll let this cook gently. And this is just a very basic spice I have used, and if you are somebody who likes a little bit more of spice, you can add turmeric powder, you can add coriander powder. Anything actually can go into this, because the more interesting the stuffing is, the better the bread is going to be. Okay, so I'll leave it on somehow in medium and let it gently cook while this gets hotter. And I'm going to swing the camera back here again, so I can go back to rolling of the dough again. So just put these back and use one of the so flatten it as much as you can, and then go. Make a right, good, big, round roti. You can make it as big as you want. So, you know, my experience of Afghani food is breads are big and nice. They are well stuffed, quite good in size. It's a real hearty food. One of the things with bolani I absolutely adore eating is they make red kidney bean stew, I would call it, which they call lubia. And it's really simple recipe. They make it with just rajma, red kidney beans, some cumin, some coriander, some garlic, some onion, and everything is cooked together. There's no sauteing, nothing. Really incredibly simple stuff. Okay? So now, this is looking good. Quite happy with this. Let's dust off. Put that back on the work surface. Okay, and let's see what's happening here in my pan of onion leeks, I should say, not onion. And while this is cooking, I'll come back to this, but I will make one with the raw one as well. Okay, so what I'll do in this one, I'll use the same spices. Add salt, add some black pepper. You can use red chili powder if you wish to. And we have this chopped green chili that will go in. I'll put all of coriander, not a great coriander, but still okay. And about a teaspoon of toasted cumin. That goes in. You guys can see what I'm doing, right? Or I'm just talking to myself. So, and then I'll mix this all together. Okay, and coming back to the bread, you can see the bread here, right?
So chef,
Yes.
somebody's saying making these are underestimated. I find it challenging. What would you advise?
I would say making beans is a skill, no doubt about it, and especially something like kidney beans. And it's very important that you soak them well, then cook them well. Eating raw beans is quite dangerous in my opinion, so I would say please make sure that you do the right thing and you have cooked your beans really well, because if the beans are raw, they can give a lot of problem, a lot of health problem, not only your tummy ache, but in some cases it can be fatal as well. So I would say, especially with the red kidney beans, be very careful with that. Okay, so onion or garlic, or I would say garlic, fresh garlic. If you can use this mixture as white garlic as well, which I'm using for leek at the moment. So once you have spread that out, use a pastry brush and have some water. Okay, and moisten the edges with a pastry brush. Okay. I will go this way as well. It just allows to seal it well. Okay, and that goes here. And I'm just going to bring the edges together and make sure there is no air in there, but it doesn't matter actually even if there is air in there. Hot pan, hot pan, and our first bolani, whatever you want to call it, that goes in. Okay, medium to high. I've gone high now, and I'll bake it on both the sides, then add some oil and fry it. So while this is cooking, I'm just going to go wash my floury hands and come back in a second. Okay, I washed my hands as quick as I could. Okay, so I'm back here while I'm cooking this. I'm very happy to take some questions if you have any. But this bread, while I have made it with leeks, you can cook it with anything, to be honest. As I said, you could use any meat as well. And they would be fantastic with lamb, chicken, even seafood. And if you are somebody who eats beef, you can have beef mince as well. But make sure you cook it really well with the spices or whatever flavorings you want, and then put in the bread. That'll work incredibly well. So now that I have cooked this, it's really soft and nice. If you look at it, this is really soft. And that's what I wanted. And it'll taste really good. While the raw one, which I have added into the bread, will cook gently. However, that one, the one with the spices which I cooked in the pan, will taste a lot better. So just swinging it down a bit to show you.
Chef,
Here we go. So this is nicely baked on one side and we're doing it on the other. Yes, boss.
can we bake it as well?
You can. You can. There's nothing wrong in baking it. But you know, what I would prefer to do is actually seal it in the pan first, both sides, brush with oil or butter, and then stick it in the oven to finish. So if you had a large party in your house and you wanted to, of course, pick up a drink and enjoy, do this prep in advance, come back and do it, rest of it later, okay? So while this is baking gently, what I want to do is, I have this paneer mixture here, okay? So I want to...
So someone just asked us,
Yeah?
thinking of adding paneer as well, will you be showing us one with paneer?
I am going to do that, absolutely, absolutely. So what I have here is some red chili powder, so we'll add that. I added a pinch of salt, but I'll add a little bit more salt, and that's my household garam masala, which we take pride in. And this is kasuri methi, which I absolutely love. That goes in. And this is, every Punjabi household knows, this is chaat masala. Okay, that goes in. So make it a little tangy. You can use lemon juice, mango powder. You could use one of those, okay? And one more thing which I missed out. I have it here in my pantry, is toasted cumin. About half a teaspoon of that. So this paneer was about 500 grams. I should have said that. And let's mix this. So just a spice grated paneer mixture. Okay, doesn't have to be way too creamy in my opinion. Now this one, once the bread is getting baked on both sides, yeah, it is just a little bit more on this side as well. I'm a big fan of induction, guys, okay, because I'm a little against wasting energy, and induction is one of those things where the heat goes straight into the pan and straight into the food. Very little waste of energy takes place in this. So whatever we do in life, there's waste of energy happens, but this way it's captured a lot. And we are living in a world where we need to be a lot more conscious of how we live our life from here on. So it's important to respect that. So I'm just going to go roll another bread while this bread is getting cooked in the pan. I'll come back and add more oil and other things to it.
So while you do that, people want to know a little bit more about your journey. How did you become a chef?
Oh, interesting one. So my family is from Punjab, and my nana was a baker. He was baker in Punjab, that's gone in Pakistan, but he was summoned by British during the Second World War to come down to Jamshedpur, which is in East India, to open a bakery because the war had broken and a lot of British and American soldiers were stationed at that barracks in Jamshedpur, and there were also prisoners of war camp because of the Burma War. So they all needed bakers to bake enough bread to feed the army, literally. So my grandfather came down, opened his bakery. Then later, my nani and my mother and other other siblings of hers, they joined there. Then after that partition happened, they lost everything back in Pakistan. So they decided to stay back and they continued to live in Jamshedpur. And that's where my mother met my father, got married. We were born. So though I was a Punjabi boy, but being brought up in Bihar, I'll put a camera to my face so that I can talk about it, and which I'm quite proud of my heritage. And the funny thing is, I was a Punjabi boy in Bihar. When I went to Punjab, I was a Bihari in Punjab. And then I went to study in Chennai. I was a North Indian boy in South India. Came back to North India to work with Oberoi Hotels. I became, because I had strong South Indian accent, they called me Madrasi, and I accepted that quite happily, laughed at it. So I've always remained something different than who I originally was. And when I left India and I came to the UK, the immigration officer looked at my passport and said, "You're Indian." So I said, "Yes, finally somebody is calling me an Indian, not a Bihari, Bengali and Madrasi." So that's my story, guys. But after my grandfather, my father took up the business and he became a caterer. And when it came to choose the career, I had seen my grandfather and my father do their work so passionately. I decided to go for a chef school or hotel school. So I went to IHM Chennai, and my journey just became a lot more interesting when I got through Oberoi Hotels. I joined Oberoi School of Hotel Management, which is quite an elite school in India. They only take about 10-12 students each year to train. I should not miss out on this one. So a little bit of oil goes on top, and it's entirely up to you how much oil you put. If I put too much oil, do excuse me, I'm still a bit of a Punjabi somewhere. But I know my wife will not like me using that much oil. She must be watching this and saying, "Oh, Mr. Kochhar, you're going wrong." But you need it sometimes, okay? So this bologna will be the leek one. So I came to the UK in '94 and became head chef of a restaurant called Tamarind. And then later I left Tamarind and opened a restaurant called Benares with a couple of investors. Left Benares in 2018 to set up a company called Kanishka Holdings and I've opened Kanishka, which is on Maddox Street, but that's where I'm mostly based in London. But outside London, I maintain a portfolio of my own restaurants called Atul Kochhar restaurants, under which I have got Hawkins, Sindhu, Vasu, Indian Essence, and now there's going to be Rivaz and Masalchi coming up soon. But plan is to keep serving regional Indian food. That's what I want to do. That's my passion. Okay, so here, let's put some paneer. So some people ask for proper paneer bolani. And by the way, paneer is used in Iran and in Afghanistan. So it's not an Indian thing only. So let's not claim it. Our brothers across the borders, they use this as well. So while this paratha is absolutely ready, I'm calling it paratha, but I should call it bolani, otherwise people will get upset with me. So I'm going to try it and open it, cut it later to eat with you. Hope you are looking at it. If you're not cooking today, do make sure you come back and cook this one, because this is an interesting recipe. And this is something that your family will absolutely love. And what you would serve with this, I think red kidney bean stew would be fantastic, but also as a breakfast, you can have plain yogurt with this. You can have some chutney, just plain mint chutney would be fantastic. A mango chutney would be great. So you can choose whatever you want. Any leftover curries from the previous day would be fantastic with this as well. Yogurt, amazing. Yogurt would be amazing with this.
Chef, what do you think about the shapes? How much can we explore? Can we roll it to different shapes?
Hey, it's your own creativity. Make it any shape you want. Nobody's watching, nobody's telling you off. Definitely I'm not. And if you have a great shape than what I have made, do send me a picture. I would absolutely appreciate getting that. Okay, so we are going with the paneer one in the pan. There we go. Okay, so I'm made with the leek, I'm made with paneer. I have cooked leek as well here, which I can make it easily, no problem. But you can also have a potato mixture, to be honest, because I think potato would be fantastic. So aloo paratha comes into play again, typical Punjabis. But you can make cauliflower, you can have mooli, in the UK, you can have all the grated root vegetables, cook them together with spices, cumin, coriander, red chili powder, garam masala, and then you can put them in the stuffed bread, and that comes along. So if you go to an Indian restaurant, you have a masala kulcha or onion kulcha. You can easily replicate that in bolani easily. So leek is onion family, and that's why I went out for paneer. I wanted to show all my British mates that onion and cheese works. So you can actually mix the two and have that too. So with the cooked one, actually I'm going to roll out one more, and we will make leek with paneer together. So that will become our cheese and onion paratha. Okay. So though if you wanted to mix a little bit of cheddar in this, that will also happen, but cheddar will nicely melt inside and it will look amazing. So I'll just roll this one out quickly. So I want you to write to me which is your favorite, which one you like, what stuffing you would put in. I've given you millions of options here now. And if you land up cooking what I'm doing, and I would absolutely love to get a picture of that and also the idea you have used. And you know what? Who knows? If there are many people writing to me, I might, looking at your pictures, I might pick a winner. And through my friends at Elephant Atta, we might be able to send you a lovely gift, which will be very helpful in cooking. I won't tell you what it is, but it could be something which will be amazing as a kitchen kit for you. Apart from the atta, they might send you a bag of atta as well. Have I said too much? Or you'll be okay with that?
Definitely okay.
Yeah, okay, good. Look, I went on committing a bit too much, and I was worried that maybe I had to take the money out of my own pocket to give you guys, but luckily I've been saved. So good. So get going, guys. Make sure that you take the picture, write a brief explanation to me that what you did with that, and if I like it, if I love it, I'm going to cook it, and then I'll give you thumbs up. And if you get the thumbs up from me, it means that Elephant Atta people will send you a fantastic gift which you will absolutely love and enjoy cooking with. Okay, so I'm going to go, I'm just going to spring that camera back here for a minute, add a little bit of my spiced paneer in this with a cooked leek. Okay, so this becomes our cheese and onion mixture. I can see all those Brits salivating. Onion and cheese, absolutely genius. Right, what happened to my camera? Let's come back again. Once I'm paid from this, I will definitely invest in a good kit. I promise to do that. When I come back with Elephant Atta again, I will have a better kit for filming. So my apologies for my very choppy, very tacky cameramanship. I'm a great cook, all right, but I got to know how to work cameras as well. Okay, here we go. So I'm not going to go on the side because last time I was struggling, so I'm just going to go on the other side, which is same thing. And I'll keep it open for a minute till I go back and get this one sorted. So if you look at this, this part of the bread sometimes gets raw. So I like to hold it. But people say you've got iron fingers. No, I don't have iron fingers. I just put it like that and hold it with the spatula, and it cooks that part as well really nicely. And let's see. Yeah, look, that's nicely baked. And then we drizzle the oil. I just want to drizzle very little because I know my wife is watching. I'll really get told off later. You can see how scared I am with my wife. Every man is. I'm not no exception. So here we go. This cooks well. Another idea I had. If you're a super healthy person, there is this product, and I'm not promoting them only, but I'm just talking about health now. They have multi-grain atta as well, okay, which is packed with minerals, packed with goodies that your body needs. And if you don't want onion, you don't want paneer, the great mixture you can have if you make bolani with that atta, it will work incredibly well with that atta as well, with that flour. You could bake or roast sweet potatoes, okay? If you don't like too much starch, then you can go with that. And then mash it, add toasted cumin, red chili powder, mango powder, whatever spices you want, make the mixture of that. And smear that mixture the way I'm putting leek and paneer in here, you could just use that and then bake your bolonis with that, or pan fry your bolonis with that, and it'll work incredibly well. That's a promise, because sweet potato breads are also amazing. They are healthy, super healthy, and they work incredibly well. So I'm going to bring my last bread onto the pan. I don't know how much time I'm left with. Yeah, plenty of time. Gosh, I'm a fast cook. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to land that in my plate again and clean the pan a bit.
Chef, so
Yes.
while we've heard so much about your wife, people want to know, do kids prefer Dad Kochhar's meal or Mum Kochhar's meal?
Mum Kochhar's meal or Dad Kochhar's meal? Okay, so most of the time at home, the rule is very simple. It's Mum Kochhar's meal, and there's a grandmom as well here, so which is Dipti's mom, who lives with us, and I absolutely adore her food. So everybody takes turns here in this house. Very, very important that, you know, my father's words, he used to say, if you can walk, you can cook. And that's what I've told my children as well. You have to cook, nothing doing. So my daughter, she did food tech in her GCSE level. My son is also doing that. So they needed to do that, definitely. Not that because I'm a chef, but they need to be independent. They are not going to live at home all their lives. They'll go to university. They should be able to cook. And I think the people who can cook, especially in the university, are very popular. And I can tell you that. So it's good that they know that skill and they can look after themselves. They can fend for themselves, which is important. But at home, I think Dipti's food is a lot preferred more than anybody else's food. And my mother-in-law's food is amazing. But me and her, we are in offenders list, because, you know, we land up using a lot of butter, a lot of cheese. So we do naughty things. So I think kids secretly love mine and my mother-in-law's food, but they side with their mother. No, we want healthy food. So they are clever kids. They turn the tide all the time. Clever boys, boy and a girl. Okay, so this one, I've kind of rolled it slightly bigger, so it's touching the edge. So don't do that. Just make sure this always within the edge of the pan, especially with the induction ovens. But it'll be okay. I'll manage it well. It'll come around, no doubt about that. Okay, so we have spoken about a few different types of options for the bread in terms of different flours as well. I would also say that if you want to make it just with a plain flour as well, you could, nothing wrong in that, but you will be missing out on a whole lot of nutrition. So whereas whole wheat flour is actually super. It's great for your health. It's the whole kernel of the wheat, and it works incredibly well with your system, with your body, and your body appreciates it. Most of the time, you know, especially in India, I would say, and it's not in a bad way. Even growing up in India, I didn't know about it. I also preferred white color bread more than the brown color bread, and I don't know why. Whether it was the color or it was the mouthfeel, I just liked bread to be white. Whereas the fact is, the brown breads tend to be more healthier. They have more nutrients in them, and it's purely because the type of wheat and also how the wheat has been processed. So do a little bit of research about it. Do read a bit about it. Don't just believe me. And if I'm wrong somewhere, I will be very happy to be corrected. So do write to me that I was wrong when I was talking about it, and I will not get offended. And if your bread was still good, you will still get the present. I will not stop your present. I promise that. So coming back to my favorites, parathas definitely are my favorite, no doubt about it. When it comes to breads, I think nothing beats a good paratha. And other day, I have a restaurant in Emersham called Hawkins, and it's within the hotel, the Crown Inn Hotel. And I was having breakfast discussion with the hotel owners, and I offered to put some Indian breakfast in the traditional English breakfast as well, with the traditional English breakfast as an option. They have absolutely loved it. So in a couple of months, I think, we will go, and especially on Saturday and Sunday, we will start offering some of the Indian breads on Saturday, Sunday. So There will be parathas, there might be bolani, who knows? There might be kuti roti from Sri Lanka. So we will try new things in there. And I also have offered to make a masala omelette on the menu. So talking of omelette, have you tried egg roll or not? If you have not, I want you to go and try that as well. That's an amazing, amazing recipe from the street foods of Calcutta, where the bread, same, you can use the atta or the whole wheat bread, just round disc. You cook it on both sides, just plain bread, a little bit of water, salt, make the dough, soft dough, roll it out, cook it on both sides, and then you beat the egg, one egg, salt, pepper, spices, whatever you want to put, and soak the bread in the egg and then go back on the pan and cook the bread on both the sides. So egg actually wraps the bread from both the sides. And then inside, you can put different types of mixtures. So on street food in Calcutta, they would put pickled cabbage, pickled cauliflower, sometimes chicken, meat, whatever you want, and then roll it. And I have no clue how those chutneys are made, but they are very tangy chutneys. They are made with, I think, tamarind and other things, like potatoes, potato skins and whatnot. So they're quite cheap, to be honest, and quite filling. And it's quite well known in Calcutta. People absolutely love that. And similar thing is available in other side of India, in Mumbai, and it's called Frankie's rolls. And anybody who lives in Mumbai knows what Frankie rolls are. And they also kind of made in a similar way, but very different in flavor, guys. So I made an egg roll during the lockdown. So I think that recipe is available on YouTube. If you want to go and have a look, please do. I think it's on Instagram as well. So you can check that out, just to inspire. But you know what? Make your own filling and make your own way of making that egg roll. So it works incredibly well. So coming back to my elephant atta episode, I think I absolutely enjoyed making this bread. We are pretty much done, but I want to just cut the bread and show you as well that this works incredibly well. So I'm gonna put breads in separate bowls here, and this one is the last one.
Chef, as you've spoken about chakki atta, someone's asked us, when people say it's chakki atta, what do they exactly mean? How different it is from your usual atta?
So you know what chakki is? So chakki is basically an old mill where atta would be, or the flour would be made, okay? And there are metallic chakki. So this is the leek one, okay? And this is the paneer one. Look at that. The stuffing is just beautiful. They're both. I'm just going to try this one first. Amazing is the word. Of course, I'll say that because I've cooked it. And that's the paneer one. This also tastes amazing. But the one here, which I really want to try, I want to see that how this one tastes. I'm just going to cut this because it's going to be hot. That's why I'm cutting it. Otherwise, I prefer cutting it with my own hands, pulling it away from my own hands. So this is leek and paneer together. Oh, hot, but amazing. I think out of the all three breads, the one I made with paneer and leek in there works out to be the best. Okay, I would say try all of them. Try your own concoction, make your own mixture. And I use plain flour and chakki gold atta. If you wish to use just chakki gold, please go with that. The whole wheat flour is super healthy, great stuff to use. But if you wanted more rounded up and a little bit of naughty bread, then use the plain flour as I did. But nothing wrong with chakki gold. I think your product will be really superior. So going back to your question that you wanted to know, what's the difference between the two? I think chakki gold is an old-fashioned atta. It's an old-fashioned bread, right? And it's made with the stone grinders. So the kernel is actually cut into a very special way. The flour has got more strength to it. The flour has got more character to it. And the flavor is a lot superior. The way it lands on a palate, the way you cook it. I think All those make Chucky Gold a lot more authentic and a lot more traditional in my opinion. Flavor wise, I do prefer Chucky Gold than the other one, to be honest, because the one which comes from the traditional mill where it's done in usual machine, I can do that in my own blender, right?
Yeah.
But that gets a little bit of, I think it loses the character of it. Whereas this reminds me that, yeah, this is how the flour used to be in the time when I was growing up. I remember as a child, as a teenager, not as a child, my parents used to give me 5 or 10 kilo of wheat and say, can you go get it grinded? Can you get it to the mill? And there used to be small mill owners who would actually make fresh atta for household. And that's how the world was. We never bought things in bags. This convenience wasn't there that time. So you would get small amount of ration in your house and you will live on it. And wheat was always bought in big bags, kept in stores, and you'll take out that wheat slowly over the year and then get it milled. So this takes me right back there. So I absolutely love it. I think the flavor is really authentic. Obviously, I'll say that because I'm getting paid to talk all about it. But apart from that, honestly speaking, forget the money part of it. Deep from my heart, I think this has got real good traditional flavor and the value. And I think when you will try it, you will also love it. So don't miss out on this. Do try it and don't just get pushed to do only breads with that. I have a bigger ambition. I'm going to make cookies out of it. I'm going to make cakes out of it. I'm going to try everything a plain flour can do. So it's on my agenda. So another recipe which I'll be trying and I'll be posting it later for you guys is atta pancake. It's a plain flour pancake, to be honest. The pancakes are made with the flours, but this one will be with slightly different flour. I'll be using Chucky Gold, but I'll be using spices in that. Make a beautiful white pancake, and then I'll be stuffing it with a salad, to be honest. And you can serve it with different types of chutneys. I will see what I have in my fridge that day, and I'll make a chutney also on the side and give you the recipe online. So guys, be well, look after yourself, stay safe, do get vaccinated. Really important for all of us to get back to the normal life as soon as we can, and stay healthy. See you soon. Bye-bye.